StarCraft player myself playing and then that happening. Like I'll desperately. I feel like what happens is I try to hit enter. I try to tell my opponent like, wait, pause. Then I'm like holding my hand, like using my face to smash against the keyboard to pause it. It just spirals out of control quickly. And guys, that's what happens when you have a cramp playing video games. You start smashing your face against the keyboard.
Then you get a concussion, cranial damage, get some serious stuff going on. Maybe one of the corners of the key pokes you in the eyeball.
Wow, this is getting not so good. And eventually you die.
And they say that esports aren't physical sports. Excuse me. We're talking about concussions and eye damage and death over here. Yeah, unfortunately, gonna have to go without me because I'm completely screwed here. Can't even get into a lobby right now, unfortunately. I've got enough internets to talk to you on Skype, which has been wonderful. But unfortunately, I think you're gonna have to at least go this one game without me.
You can provide some backup, like, yeah, go DrennoC, you got this.
All right, we'll do it. I'm ready.
You're the emotional support.
And it'll just, oh my God,
Yeah.
Something exciting is happening. Yep.
I think you need I need a little button. I need a little GG button where then it actually sends a signal to you and you just start going crazy. Like, I don't care what you say, but like, oh no! Ah! Ah! And in the important battles, I'll just do that and not say anything, and it'll let me breathe as you like freak out about a battle you can't see.
I'll try to predict what the battle is. You just tell me the unit composition and be like, oh my God, the Marines are getting evaporated, as they all say.
We should do that. Have a little StarCraft 2 Jeopardy game where actually it is like the compositions are told, not the angle, nothing about actual the positions, but the compositions are told, and you have to predict how you think it happens and who wins. Like maybe you do give the map, whatever. I think that would be
or you just have to listen to. It's like name that tune where you only hear 4 notes, and you have to like name the tune, right? It'll be StarCraft.
Oh my gosh, Marines
name that
moving
battle, and you'll hear the cast up to a certain point, and then we'll stop, and it's like, all right, who's gonna win, and how are they gonna win the battle? And it's like, whoa.
I've
New
always
game show.
wanted to...
Troy Pavlik, get on that.
Oh yeah, Troy should actually. But it can be hosted by Jack and DrennoC. I'd be down with it. I'd be down.
There you go, man.
Oh. I've always wanted to do a complete radio cast of StarCraft just to see how it would work out. I think that'd be pretty cool. But guys, here we finally are on Terraform. This is the 3rd game in a best-of-3 series, currently 1-1. But the player in the bottom right-hand corner from Endurance Esports, the Purple Terran, it is EJK. And his opponent, yeah, give us some applause, JaKaTaK. Give us the applause. Woo, yeah!
Make it happen.
Oh, make it happen as the crowd goes crazy. In the top left-hand corner, the Red Terran player from Deadly Gaming. It is epic. Bringing it back 1-1 last game. Yeah, actually, you be the crowd. You need a little soundboard you can start activating.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, boo, boo.
You're like, learn to micro scrub.
No, you should actually do that. That'd be great during a stream. You just turn that on like when someone subscribes or whatever. Oh man, learn to micro, you scrub. Wow. Ugh.
Yeah, man, you take the Destiny approach and you just approach things with a lot of negativity. It'll be good. By the way, that isn't a stab at Destiny. I think Destiny's great.
Epic going for the Mecha or Maka, whatever type of racks he did last game.
Racks, yeah.
Maka racks. Epic will be doing the exact same thing, and EJK is taking a tip from game 1, and I don't need to scout you.
He's still not scouting. Well, I think the thing is, like with EJK, he's just this defensive player that he can totally just be like, yeah, you know what? You do whatever you want to do. I'm going to defend everything, get 3 bases, and I'll steamroll with the maxed out mech army. I mean, it's pretty reasonable strategy to go for.
EJK's not even going to fully scout, just checking his 3rd and the other base for any racks. Actually, no, there's the scout moving out, and ooh, this could provide an ample opportunity for Epic to do something crazy. Nope, EJK pulls back. Scouts like a quarter across the map, then pulls back after checking for other stuff. But for now, EJK, both players will be doing, I think, again, the 1-1-1 build where you get your nice Banshee, you get everything set, and you are safe. Still a little too early to actually tell, but they're kind of opening up like they have last game. First factory from Epic here will also be going down, and I'd like to see maybe one of the players open Banshee first instead of the Raven. We've both seen, I think, in Game 1 and Game 2, Raven first from each player, being very careful. Thank you, Jack, for... I often get that wrong, and Hawkeye's like, no, not that, no.
You know, the information I have is the information from the past, which is still in my brain, so I'll supply that. You supply current time information. And we'll be all good, you know, and that's what this is all about. If you're just tuning in right now, I'm not in the game. It's just complete. This is my caster sense. I'm training my caster sense. You know how players have star sense? And like, oh, I think there's a hidden base. This is caster sense, where it's like, yeah, you know, I think someone just built a wait, no, they both built Vikings. They definitely both built Vikings.
No, man, caster sense a little bit off. Starport's not quite done yet. Wow, caster sense fail right there. I'll give you time later.
What you said before, I thought you said they already built Ravens. Oh man.
No.
Gotta pay attention to details.
I was explaining that in the first and second game they both went Ravens, so saying maybe one of them switches it up and goes Banshee right off the bat is a little bit more aggressive in this game 3. It's the best of 5 series.
Got some tech labs going down.
Oh yeah, tech lab just finished right there. Starport's gonna be on that tech lab. Any other good predictions?
Over. Nice.
Yeah, actually, 100% correct. Yeah.
Yep. There we go. And you know, some SEVs building as well. Got a small force of Marines for Epic defensively to deal with any sort of problems that might occur.
Are you looking at the stream, or is that from?
No, no. That's just usually what happens because you don't have anything else to spend your money on.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going. That is 100%
Workers being built.
That is 100% what Epic is doing outside his natural base. He's got a small force of Marines, and actually, kind of coolly enough, he is sending out his very first Widow Mine all the way across the map, and is gonna maybe look for a hero shot right here, or not the hero, but looking for a nice shot here. Maybe if EJK moves out, he has been known to kind of clump up his units as he moves out. In the very first game.
Yeah, that happened before. I mean, that last game, he got screwed over by that Widow Mine that was super far advanced. So maybe he's looking to get a little bit of Widow Mine revenge.
Definitely, it's a possibility. In Game 1, we almost saw that, but EJK had his Widow Mine in the front of his army, so Widow Mine cannibalism went down, and one Widow Mine killed the other one. It's terrible. StarCraft is a gruesome game. I don't think you realize what goes on. Like an Ultralisk.
Very violent.
An Ultralisk uses 2 Kaiser Blades, like just think of your own version of a Kaiser Blade. I don't care if you know what it is, but Kaiser Blade, and then you get squished. You get, like, pulverized by Kaiser Blade smashing into you on both sides. Oh, EJK. Oh, no, EJK that will not go farther into the other Widow Mine. I like this both from each player. Widow Mine's right on top of line of sight blockers, waiting for the army to move through the central path on Terraform. For now, we do see a Banshee started by EJK. No cloak, though, and he is queuing up the first Banshee to be sent across the map, so just saving up a little gas, maybe for some upgrades, whatever. Being safe, but does want to give himself the aggressive possibility, and after Game 1, even though it was Hellion damage that got him the worker kills, still, we're not seeing Epic control too well against these drops or just harassments in the back of the bases. EJK just looking out what's going on, sees pretty much normal force for Epic in the natural base, checking for a quick third. Just going down his checklist with this Hellion. I like it from EJK, even though he didn't start off with scouting. He is getting some scouting in, and actually potentially pulls the army out of position of Epic just slightly for this Banshee to move in. But no, Epic pulls up into his main, looking to do a drop, doesn't want to be spotted by anything, and this is going to actually go like a pulley. Epic moving out for the drop, while the Banshee of EJK is going to be moving into the natural of Epic. There was a Viking and a Raven ready for that, but more importantly, the entire army of EJK, or not actually the entire army, just some Hellions and a Raven. Kind of awkwardly, the Raven will be accompanying them to get rid of this forward Widow Mine, so EJK perfectly anticipating what we see Epic do. For now, we'll be getting rid of that. And the attack of Epic's going to be moving in, but the Banshee's already killed 4 workers on the left-hand side of the map here. Raven and Viking will be able to push it back, but that natural base is literally mining nothing right now for Epic, and the reason why he had such a little defense for that is because there's a drop going down, and a siege tank in the natural base of EJK. 2 siege tanks actually in the natural base from Epic. They will be shelling, and the Marines going down. There is siege tank and Hellions here for EJK, and he will be able to maintain air control with his Vikings, but actually Epic's going to fight this back and now has a strong foothold in the natural base of EJK. Thoughts, Jack? Any thoughts?
Excellent moves, I gotta say. Really great positional play there. Just absolutely powerhouse from Epic. Gotta love that play. You know, you're the bio player, you gotta make use of your positioning. I think he did a really good job of that, and that's why he's able to sort of scout this advantage here.
Eventually, it was destroyed by a whole bunch of Vikings. Like, you know what, we're gonna land. We like being Transformers. We think it's cool. There was a movie about us. Why not? But that does end up killing 13 workers. 5 workers Epic has lost, but he has killed 13 and actually kind of reset the siege tank count, which is never good versus a. Sorry, it is good.
Never
not
good as a mech player.
Never good as a mech player.
Count is ugh. It is sad. It is a depressing thing. Like, oh, my siege tanks are restarted. That's the worst.
Epic, though, is really thinking there's going to be a counter drop. As you can see in his main base, he's got 3 Vikings and a Raven all ready for this. He's got missile turrets, everything ready to defend a drop, where EJK is actually just kind of skirting his Raven awkwardly around the map. EJK off the back of this has his 3rd CC done. He's got his orbital command on the way and is really just getting ready to go in that strong factory siege tank and macro play. But for now, I guess you said no. There's a missile turret. 2 auto turrets in the main base of Epic trying to do some damage, and they will sadly focus down one of the barracks at first, then going to the SCVs. So far getting 2 kills, but Marauders will be able to pick this up as long as Epic's Raven will also be able to do that. And really right now, both players kind of taking little jabs at each other. So far, Epic is in the lead. 3rd base is down for him. EJK is playing so defensive and safe. He's now moving out, but after getting 2 or 3 siege tanks killed in that drop into his natural, his siege tank count was reset heavily, and he just doesn't have enough to actually quite take that 3rd base yet. He will be moving out. At the same time, though, the entire army of Epic is looking for an attack into that 3rd base, and EJK may actually be out of position here. He's got to be really careful about where he positions and postures himself. Currently 58 workers of Epic to the 48 of EJK. Epic does have a slight lead, which helps him with Byron. Actually, the Vikings are going to give a little bit of preemptive knowledge to EJK that the army is somewhere around this 3rd base, and EJK is going to get into a very strong defensive position. Epic's got to be really careful not to fight into this in the wrong angle. Siege Tank's decimating the bio forces, and the bio may be able to... No, the bio's just going to completely go down here. Hellion's reinforcing EJK, and I think Epic there loses... Oh, no. Actually barely wins out in the end of that. Marauders dropping right on top of the siege tanks. Each siege tank of EJK had about 1 health left, and now again the entire defensive force of EJK has been slaughtered. Yes, he's pretty much killed everything from Epic, but Epic's once again going to try to drop right on top of the siege tank. Realizes he cannot quite do that. While an army back at home is being made for Epic, he still has... Honestly, not quite a contain here, but because of the reset units, EJK just needs to buy himself a little time. He's got 3 base production and just needs a couple more siege tanks to actually hold out this 3rd base. After losing the siege tanks early on, he didn't quite have enough to do a full foothold and be able to actually maintain his own base. Now, though, Epic is moving into the natural, and as you guys can see, there is a sensor tower right there. EJK knows about this move, and there's going to be Hellbats ready, but a siege tank is actually on the force with Epic. All these drops have been beautiful with siege tanks. They're actually going to start hailing down onto the SCVs. SCVs being pulled into this bio, but the siege tank is going to be focusing down. 9 kills so far. At the same time, the natural base of EJK is at jeopardy, and GG! Epic with a surprise, with another pitchfork attack, with another really wonky three-pronged attack, takes out EJK after a beautiful early game attack. And now it is 2-1, and Epic playing really well.
Yeah, that first game, went really well for EJK, but after that, has some adjustment. It turns out when Epic doesn't lose 1 million workers in the first 10 minutes of the game, he does really well.
Definitely, and even though the foothold into the natural really didn't buy Epic a lot of time, but it held back EJK, and as I was mentioning, after that fight, resetting siege tank count, and then EJK going for his 3rd, he just didn't have enough siege tanks, and if the bio army didn't have medevacs and such, and there was more siege tanks, easily... Actually, that's a lot of ifs right there, but that's a lot of ifs. Basically, right there, I was trying to explain to Jack actually like what went down as in the siege tanks all on 1 health for EJK, and they're all clumped up, so 1 Marine just drops down on top of them and snipes 2 siege tanks because they're just so close to each other they can't help each other or do friendly fire damage. So very nice positional plays, number 1 from Epic, as Jack mentioned earlier on, and pretty much good strategy. He may not have the micro, but he's got the strategy.
Yeah, it's having really good tactical play is important, especially as the bio player. And I can't wait. I haven't seen the trident attack, the pitchfork attack yet. Hopefully I can get in this game. I'd love to see that happen for sure.
It's less that it did a ton of damage. Well, it does do damage, but it's more, I feel like each time EJK because, I mean, obviously he has to spread out his force. He just loses too much stuff in each of the different places because he's got to spread out his siege tanks. And then in that last game, EJK just didn't have anything to defend. So it was like, I'm going to stab you while you're already dead, but nah, we'll try with the trident. Yes, that is correct, DrennoC. He will stab you while you're dead with the trident. Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This is the Rivals StarCraft 2 League.